first are running for 20,000. And in this instance, in particular, this horse is going to turn 5.
Well, this horse was bought at the 2-year-old sale
In
2.5
weeks.
years ago. It was so long, Anthony, even I didn't watch the 2-year-old sales work.
5 in 3 weeks.
No, I get it.
So, to me, you have to tread very, very lightly with horses like that. The other rule, the other train of thought is, well, if they kept after this horse, well, listen, the horse running for 20,000. No horses in
At the end of the day, this horse doesn't need to be much to win. I was going to change my pick. I hate having a firster on top. I'm not picking a Rob Atras horse from Jason Service until he manages to get one to win. He might. I tell you what, I actually considered Empress Luciana, who might be the price play in here. Why can't that horse win?
No reason.
I mean, Lucky Lindsay may not be able to run a step anymore. I know it was a sloppy sealed track last time. This was brutal.
That was the only. I mean, she's getting back to the fast track for the first time, but again, the first time was Jason Service. So,
yeah, I mean, it's listen. She's the horse to beat, Lucky Lindsay, and she's going to probably. I think she's going to be favored.
I think she has to be favored.
Yeah,
doesn't she?
I do think she'll be favored. I think probably should be favored in here. I just didn't want to take it. But
it's hard to trust the firster with that kind of
Can't agree
resume.
more. You know, Cemetery VIP, the 7. The only time the horse ran the dirt, the horse was virtually eased.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. I've never been in a dry dirt track, but it's hard to be too confident.
Maybe
about
Empress
that horse.
Luciana found her bunch today.
She
Who
may
knows?
have. She may have. She's probably the right sort of value.
And if she's 5 to 1, right? If she's 4 or 5 to 1,
she's probably not a bad value play in there. Race number 2. We'll take a look at Rejected again. We'll go back to Saratoga. I think this is the race winning in the slop. I'd like to visit all the tracks during Talking Horses.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
I don't trust this horse. I don't trust this horse at all, Anthony. You know, I know this horse won here in the slop. I liked this horse the race before that, but that track was kind of speed and really just had an easy trip up front. I just thought Mr. Bobby was going to sit outside this horse, and I thought he was better.
This horse ran pretty good on the turf last time.
He's got plenty of turf pedigree, though.
He ran pretty well on the turf.
He's got a lot of turf. Yeah, you corrected yourself. That was good. So
he ran pretty well on the turf. I don't want to hear you.
No, that was good. No, I think you're learning. I think it was a real moment for you.
I'm learning.
And you're trying to sort of downplay it.
Can I ask you this question? Do you feel like... I feel like this horse ran on the turf like 10 minutes ago. It was a month ago.
Oh, Rejected again?
Yeah, I feel like that race was yesterday.
It doesn't feel like a month ago.
Right? It
doesn't
feel like a month
It
ago.
doesn't feel like a month.
And that's what it was. When I looked back down, I was like, wait a minute. This horse didn't run like 5 days ago. This horse ran a month ago.
How do you not have Mr. Bobby in the top 4?
I have him. He's the 5th pick. Listen,
I don't care if he's the 5th pick. How do you have him in the top 4? I didn't ask you if he was the 5th pick.
I have...
He lost a money ride. Would be 3 to 5 in this race. And he actually turned his form around. He got back to his better race, and he's going out for a barn, the Bond Barn, whose horses are running.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how you're on the top 4.
I probably slept this one.
I mean,
he's never won. He got put up via DQ.
Okay, that's fair.
He's one of these horses that never won.
Not in top
I'm not
4.
the biggest fan of those horses. I probably should have had him in the
you're
top 4.
having a big week with horses you left out of the top 4.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Sometimes the chicken, sometimes the feathers.
Yeah, I Rejected again can win. I've got him 3rd. I think that Mr. Bobby, the forwardly placed horse, is the horse that I want the most. The question is what do you do with Beaver Creek? Is Beaver Creek really going to be favored in here like David has?
I thought Rejected again would be the chalk.
I did too. I mean, I defer to David, who's usually right. Beaver Creek, I'm going to have him in there because it's Linda. I don't know. That 80 Beyer fig doesn't hold up great when you start looking at the horses in the race. Just a new face in here.
The horse that won his debut is okay. The horse Pit Boss. But he came back 20 days later. He dropped and he cut back from 7 to 6, and he got the job done.
I bet him last time, actually. I think. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you know, Linda Rice has gotten some horses, most of them from John's Service for DJ Stable, and now gets Dallas Stewart. I tried the first few and did not have any success.
But this horse has better form than those.
This horse does. I don't know. You know, they bought this horse for $250,000 in for the tag first.
Well, wait a second. No, wait a second. Anthony, be careful. This horse was not bought by DJ Stable. This horse is a private purchase. It's his last race. So be careful. You don't know what they paid for this horse. Listen, I think he can win, but I'm a little dubious the last race that he was in. What do you do with Dubai Bobby? I mean, one of the reasons I showed the replay on Dubai Bobby, of course, you and I don't have the top 4, we had expected to get rain. So I think it was reasonable to think we were going to be looking at another wet track today. It turned out obviously not to be the case. This horse ran last time. Was it just the wet track? I mean, you got to admit, this horse ran.
When the forecast changed, my opinion of him changed. Yeah, when I realized it was going to be a beautiful day here and it was going to be fast.
You know what's funny about this horse?
He just ran too well in the slop, and his prior races on main tracks there were no efforts. I just felt like it was much. I mean, and this horse, I won in a common gallop last time.
Didn't this horse? I don't pick a lot of Chad Summers horses, and that's the understatement of all time. I did pick. Is this the horse of his I picked that was scratched after the New Year last year? There was a Chad Summers horse that I
don't know what I ate
loved.
for breakfast. You're asking me if I did the horse you picked
There
after
was
he
a Chad
scratched?
Summers horse I loved one day that was scratched before the pandemic. And now I'm looking at it and think it was him. On the dirt, obviously.
It could have been.
I think it was.
You know what? You might be. Was it Wicked Title before he lost Wicked Title? Then it was. Chad doesn't have too many left.
I think it might have
I
been
would
this horse,
imagine
because this horse had some. I wouldn't be so sure this horse can't handle a dry track.
Okay.
I don't love him. Let me tell you something. This horse ran last time, Anthony. This horse was loaded. You could just see him on the turn. You could see on the. I was watching the race on the turn.
He was a winner from the 3/8 pole home.
I remember looking up. I'm thinking, whoever that horse is sitting third
Winner from
or
the
fourth is
3/8 pole
a
home.
cinch.
Winner from the 3/8 pole home. No question about it.
You know, because Loverboy Lou, really, Jake Rocks.
Wow, you have Jake Rocks. I have Jake Rocks higher than you today. That's a first.
It's not much. You know, he is who he is. I like Mr. Bobby in here. See what happens in race number 2. Race number 3, the Bay Ridge, the 2 that scratched weren't going to take too much money. We'll take a look at Lucky Move besting Mrs. Orb in the Empire Distaff. Why do you prefer Mrs. Orb today?
I like Mrs. Orb. Well, the Lucky Move, I like the 2 turns to the 1 turns. I also think Mrs. Orb
Stop with that.
probably has a little bit of an edge with the extra ground.
Isn't the reason to like Mrs. Orb today the fact that she has more tactical speed than Lucky Move? I mean, to me,
She's a little fast. I mean, she's a little faster.
No,
yeah.
She's a lot faster, actually. Not a lot faster, a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So I thought that she would probably be a little bit more forward than Lucky Move. But on the other hand, Lucky Move's got Kendrick, and he's aware of that. So Kendrick will probably put her in the game. One of these 2 horses is likely to win.
Can I say, we talked about, Sky Kitten comes out, Kilkia comes out, and they didn't figure to have much of an impact in here. What about Singular Sensation getting loose on him in here? Now, she's a horse that I have argued that is a better horse around the 2 turns than she is around the 1 turn.
You argue that with nonsensically all the time. It's not true, but you say it all the time.
I mean, she got beat a neck to Radzikowski. She won up in Saratoga this summer. She beat Sharp Star.
She ran a bigger figure last time around 1 turn than 2 turns.
Once. The other 2
last
two-turn
time,
races
last
were
time.
biggest ones.
It's a once again.
Again,
1 turn helps
and
horses
things are
that
going
are
to be a little
closers.
different with her. Things are going to be different with her around the 2 turns because she's going to be able to use her speed today, and there's nobody else in here with any speed.
Yeah, the problem is, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong, except Freedom has to go. I mean,
you see, and listen, in theory, I understand what you're saying. Coming out of the sprints and the mile race was pretty sharp pace early.
Jose Alcano and Kelly Breener going to sit last with this horse and run last the whole way around the track?
I don't know. I don't think it's as simple sometimes as well. This horse was coming out of sprints, and she's got to have enough speed
She's
to get
not
to
a
the
big.
lead.
No, she's not a big speed. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like the other filly has shown speed in the past. I just think
don't disagree.
she's going to have a tactical advantage. Again, when you're
I don't
looking
think
at
she's
this
good
race,
enough, Anthony.
and that's ultimately what could get a beat. But my question to you is there enough of a gap between her and the other 2 fillies that negates the tactical advantage? I don't know if I'm willing to.
How far is she going to be in front of Lucky Move and Mrs. Orban here?
Well, that's up to Manny Franco. I would turn her loose. I would try and bottom the field out.
How far in front of those 2 horses is she?
She's probably only going to be 2 lengths in front of them.
Right, so that's
probably. If Manny was smart and Mark Hennig was smart, they would go and take those 2 fillies.
Anthony just suggested on the show that Manny and Mark.
Anthony
just said on the show you're not smart. I want to be clear.
They're both smart. If they were smart in this instance.
No, you don't backtrack.
If they were smart in this instance, they would take the other 2 fillies out of their game a little bit and just try and run them off their feet.
Anthony, she's not that fast.
She's faster than them.
She's not that fast.
Everything's relative. She's faster than them.
She's fast. You know what, Anthony? She's not much faster than them.
Okay.
She's really not.
I'd be 3 in front in here, and I'd be
Anthony,
scooting.
if she was 3 in front, she'll be last in this race because she's not fast enough to be 3 in front of these horses without riding her. And you think riding her early is going to help her get the mile and
I
eighth?
think getting some separate. I think it's the only chance she has to win. You think she's going to outkick them?
I don't think I don't think she can win, but she's not that fast, Anthony. You're trying to make her fast.
She's faster than them.
Not really.
Okay.
It's very microscopic that she's faster than Mrs. Orb. You know, it's a question how they ride them. She's not that fast, Anthony. When you start talking about speeds that aren't that fast and there isn't that much of a disparity between them, you're not really talking about much. And you're telling me that Kendrick Carmouche, who's got the rail at a mile and an eighth, is going to allow the 5 to loaf along on the front end? That's not happening in a bad dream.
You're taking them out of their. You're taking her out of her element.
But they're taking her out of her element. They're riding her more early than they should. But then again, Mark and Manny aren't smart.
They were smart. They'd open. If you were smart,
If
you'd
you
open
guys
up a
were
big
smart.
lead here.
Race number 4. Hey, we're back at a mile and an eighth in race number 4.
Back to back 9 furlong races.
Yep. And so, what's going on with Rock Sugar?
Big scratch here with a constitutional law. No, a little surprised to see this one come out.
I agree.
Well, that's what I mean. I thought there were a
Didn't
few
like 'em,
horses
but
that
it's a
came
big
out
scratch.
today. I tried Rock Sugar last time, getting to the dirt.
How'd that do?
I caught a wet track and was down inside the whole way. I'm going to give.
Well,
I'm
actually
gonna give
not
one more
down
chance.
inside the whole way, but okay.
I'm going to give the horse.
Was on the rail in the backstretch, was 3 wide in the turn, and didn't finish at all. I mean,
I want to get the horse on a fast track. I mean,
why?
because
got
I
a
want to give the
400
horse
Tomlinson.
I'm not worried about the Tomlinson. I'm worried about I want to try the horse on a fast track.
Okay. I thought that Unbridled Honor is clearly the horse to beat in here. Kind of broke slowly, didn't have any speed, and did a little bit of running late. It's probably the logical, but I'm going to take the Reds. The Reds ran very, very well first time out with a real trip. And then last time out, sort of broke off awkwardly, kind of got bumped at the start and sort of came in, created its own bumping actually. And in doing so, took herself out of the race. And the thing about the Unbridled Honor and the Reds race was, it was totally dominated by horses that were forward. Nobody made any ground up in that race. So I give them both a little bit of an excuse. And I thought the Reds ran well enough first time. And you look at the pedigree and it suggests this horse should be able to stretch out. I want the 2 horses out of that race. I think that was a very strong race. I think they were compromised by the way the race was run. So they're the 2 I want. And I think the Reds will be a better price of the 2. And I did like the horse's first race. The horse that scares me in here is Hardison. Because this horse was brutal last time, no doubt about it, despite the fact it's coming out of a very good race, and the horse who was 4th in its race 2 back won on the turf yesterday at Gulfstream. This is a dirt pedigree. It's not just that Octave was a $1 million plus winner in the turf and hit the board in the Breeders' Cup. She's produced horses that were dirt runners. So is it a negative? Maybe Bill Mott running this horse in the turf, but I don't know. Why can't
I have 2 big issues here.
You only have 2?
This horse is coming back in
Only 2?
2 weeks.
So what?
This horse did not run a step the other day. And his
was
2 prior turf races,
You're right.
he ran.
No, you're right.
He didn't run
He was brutal.
step.
He was brutal. I agree. That's fair.
That's
no,
a
I don't.
big,
But
and now he's coming back quick. Look, Mott's run this horse a mile and a 16th in all 3 starts. Obviously, he did not want to start this horse off in a sprint. He wanted to get this horse a distance of ground. That's a positive. The negatives are the fact that, and listen,
His
the
last
2
race
weeks,
was atrocious.
2
I don't
weeks doesn't
disagree.
bother me as much. He was atrocious last time.
So, did we bet any lunches? We didn't bet yesterday lunches, did we? I tried.
I'm not giving up that kind of riding advantage, man. The guy, listen, because you said it last night too. Bankett didn't win.
No.
The
that's-
Alex Jose
that's-
Loscano won the
That's not true. That's not what I said last night.
No.
Actually, it's not what I said at all.
Well, you gave Jose a lot of credit for the ride.
I'll
say it.
No, Bankett was much the best in that race. And Mr. Buff was hurt by getting left. There's no doubt about it. But Bankett ran yesterday. It doesn't matter if he won or lost that race. The point was that Jose Loscano gave that horse a great ride
Put him in
gave
the
that
spot.
horse every chance at every point in the race to win. That was my point. My point wasn't that Jose won the race.
No, it was
because
a great.
Bankett
Listen,
won
he's
the
had a
race.
half a dozen. He's had a half a dozen riders at the very least.
But that was because, and it's funny, I was talking about the race with my friend Nick Tamara the night before, and he said to me before, he said, Jose is the kind of rider that's going to come out running, and if he senses the pace isn't fast, get him into the race. And because Jose did that, when Mr. Buff got left, he got him right up front. He gave him a great ride. I don't think it was the reason the horse won. Can risk-taking run?
I don't know.
Awful.
I don't know.
This horse has been awful. I wonder if he can run it all. Race number 5 closes out the early pick 5 and early pick 4 starts the late pick 5. I think you and I ended up with the same horse here, right?
We did.
Flashback and Barbie.
Yeah.
Back on a dry track, wire the field.
That's it. Outside draw, dropping in now to, when they brought this horse back from the long layoff, they ran the horse for the 25-2 life. I don't think that's the cheapest 25-2 life at Belmont, but I think it's only one step above. They have been, they were happy to lose her in the claim box when she ran for the 25-2 life. They've made some money with her in the allowance races, running 2nd and 4th. She didn't run so well last time. See, it's a drop, but it's not really a drop because they've already had her in for the 2 life.
Still a drop.
I don't see it as big a drop as most people will.
Okay.
Because again, you're looking at the right. You're looking at the level. This is the lowest we run the 3 life.
Still a horse that's favored, that's taking a substantial drop. These are all facts.
I don't think it's. You think it's a bigger drop than I do. I don't think it's that big of a drop. With the intent of losing her for 25, were you surprised she didn't get claimed for 25 with both of her New York
Well,
rate
the
conditions?
reason she hadn't gotten probably claims that she's probably got issues. Number one, she has trouble staying on the racetrack. So I don't know. Horses have trouble staying on the racetrack. She's coming off a year layoff when she dropped.
I was
before.
stunned.
Really?
I was stunned she didn't get claimed because the
Yeah, I
way
wasn't.
horses are claimed around here, especially right after we were only back a month. People were looking to spend some money and claim some horses.
Running
I
in
was
it for
stunned.
25,000 for a horse that hasn't run in a year.
With both of her New
Anthony,
York
she
rate
was
conditions
barely
left.
favored, and she laid over that field like is way over them. I don't trust her. I think she's the worst to beat. I didn't want anybody else. We'll look at Wicked Title's last race, and Wicked Title's in there, and look both ways in there. I actually think Wicked Title ran reasonably well during the race. Doesn't hurt to have Joel Rosario. This is Joel's last day riding here, by the way, before he heads out to California, where he'll be riding at Santa Anita this winter. I actually thought she ran okay in Wicked Title. What's she going to do in a dry track? Maybe she'll be better in a dry track, but she's never really been.
No, right. That's
But
the problem.
I didn't really like she's a black belt. I thought she found her field last time out.
She found her field in a great setup last time. She just sat outside the speed and took over, and it was. She had that race kind of wrapped up at like the 3/8 pole last time out.
I would have loved to have a real alternative to Flashback and Barbie. I couldn't find one. We don't believe her drops down. She hasn't done any running, but she does take a significant drop. I wished I had a case to make for somebody.
What about Gray Hayes? You don't have any Gray Hayes, huh? I know it was a terrible bunch last time, and she was able to get by our Charlotte Webley, but
I don't like her at all.
yeah, I don't know. Her last 2 races.
I don't like her at all.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
You
her
like
last 2 races could get her a little piece of this. She is coming back a little quick, but listen, this is the bottom of the.
She's in good form.
Yeah.
She's in good form. She might.
She's 8. Was David have a 6-1 morning line? She might be the, if Wicked Title can't run on a fast track and Flashback and Barbie can't run anymore, she might be the price alternative in here. I think she is.
You're really geared up today. How was it at Phil's yesterday?
It got cold. You learn it here, having the office upstairs down the hall from the.
When's
booth.
the last time you've been in that office?
I go in. I use it as a little bit of a staging station. You realize when I was doing the HRN.
Did you just say
year,
a staging?
I do.
A station. What's the definition of a staging?
Well, you got to
station?
leave. I'll go upstairs. I'll change when this is over. I'll go get the monocs and put them into the.
I had
into
to
the booth.
ask.
Yeah, I mean, you asked. You learn, especially like when you're calling, you realize the 7th race you have about 80% sun, and then the 8th race you have about 50% sun, and the 9th race you have about 6% sun.
I know,
Once the sun goes down, it's freezing.
I remember last year, and there was a turf race. It was that big carryover in the pick 5. And Frank Miramati was calling, and he totally missed the favorite making the move, top of the stretch, Mowbridge.
We all needed Mowbridge for the pick 5.
And I said to Frank, how did you miss Mowbridge? He said, you don't understand, watch the races on TV. You think it's light out. It's like night up there. I had no idea, yeah.
There's
14 tonight in the last.
Oh, yeah, 13. We had 3 scratches, but 2 drew in. I own up to my mistakes. I flip-flopped maidens, the 2 outside. You can't,
it's not easy.
when they run into the shadow at about the 3/8 pole, good luck.
And on that note of good luck, let's take a break. We'll be back with the late pick 4 in just a moment.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the jackpot 20-cent pick 6 bet that's offered every day at the Big A. One unique winning ticket earns the entire net pool plus the jackpot carryover. Without a unique ticket, 75% is distributed to winners with 25% added to the jackpot. Win big with the Empire 6.
For details on the Empire 6 and mandatory payout dates, visit nyra.com/Empire6 today.
We're back. He's Anthony. I'm not.
He's Andy.
Did you watch Bruce Springsteen on Saturday Night Live last night?
No.
You know, I've seen Bruce Springsteen in concert a couple times. He's great at concert.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan.
Not
but
a fan.
His concerts are great.
I've heard.
They're
But
really
I'm not
are great.
I'm a Billy Joel guy. Exactly. See, that's how it works.
I saw him in the Garden last year, 2 years ago.
During
it was
the
just good.
residency?
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan.
First concert I ever went to. Well, actually, the first concert I ever went to was the old backyard concerts at Belmont when I was in. Remember those?
Yeah. Yorma. Remember Yorma played one day when I was.
I think Tavares. I think my parents may have went to see Tavares.
You didn't watch the Bee Gees documentary last night?
No.
Sensational. Got to watch it on HBO. It's great.
I was sleeping by 9:15 last night.
Race number. I think I was looking at Thursday's card. Race number 6. Race number 6. Let's look at Awesome Alana, JC Shooting Star, and Gentle Annie running second, third, and fourth last time. Distant second, third, and fourth. And I think the reason I wanted to show this was, honestly, I know it was a wet track, but if you're just leaning on JC Shooting Star and Awesome Alana, don't you want to throw a little Gentle Annie in? Don't you just want to throw her in? She's going to be $1,000,000 to 1.
Look, her last 2 competitive figs came on wet tracks.
I know. You're not wrong.
A couple of
You know
zeros
how
staring you in
competitive
the
they were.
face. Yeah, I mean, that's the. Who knows how competitive they are? Listen, we talked. Remember yesterday? I said to you, I said something on the show yesterday about there's a race or 2 tomorrow. This was one of them. I don't know.
No, I agree. It's very
here.
hard to. It's very hard to listen. I think you and I are just sort of banking on Merton Cancer-Masi getting Awesome Alana to run well in here. But the reality is she didn't run well for Linda the time before that. But to be fair, it was a sloppy track, and the speed really held together, and speed was good that time. And last time she was just way above her head. And the time 3 back, when she was in a reasonable spot, she ran a good enough fig to win here. I think we're relying on the trainer and such, but she's not that good.
She's not. But she gets She gets Jose Lozcano's
and
riding
she has
now.
much more speed than JC's Shooting Star does.
A ton, right?
A ton
and
more speed.
Unless Cartwheel goes and finds one of those races from earlier this year, and she can show some speed.
Does she run it all anymore?
The only reason.
No, she has speed. I agree.
Yeah,
no one's supposed to go with her.
The only reason I would throw her on a pick 4 or a pick 5 ticket is her speed, because she's faster than Awesome Alana is. And if she gets in front of her, do you really trust Awesome Alana? Do you really trust JC Shooting Star? Because I don't. And I think if somebody could boss these fillies around, I want to have them as a little bit of an insurance policy. That's all she is for me. I mean, her last 2 races, again, they're abysmal. She's running against much better.
But the reality of racing is sometimes when they drop down, they wake up a little bit. And I agree. And
you see February to July, July to October,
that's my
now
problem.
another 2 months.
That's my problem.
Yeah,
I know that was exactly my problem.
That's fine.
Yeah,
and that's all well and good. But she has races where she's fast enough to get in front of these horses, and I don't trust the other 2 that are going to pass her.
I don't trust anybody in this race. That's why I'm mentioning Gentle Annie. Listen, Waylon Josie finally drops in for a tag. Waylon Josie's run some races that make her a player in here.
Waylon Josie gets Charlie Marquez in here too. You know, this is something, especially me.
She could be forward in here.
Take the advantage. You get a good riding bug. You get the 5 pounds. Listen, you take any edge you can with these fillies. You know, the 5 pounds, she's getting 7 pounds from some of the other fillies.
I don't disagree. This is a race where
you want every edge you can get.
Maybe Awesome Alana will win at 2 to 1, but when she runs nowhere at 2 to 1,
well, that's the other problem. She could be short.
I think you're going to feel it's hard for anybody to be really short in here because how can anybody be that? Well, listen, they made some. I mean, for the life of me, I can't understand why there was such a disparity in the first race yesterday between the odds of the first 2 winners. I happen to think the horse who won, and that's neither here nor there, was actually more likely than the one who ran second, the Michelle Nevin
We
horse.
would do it. You made a very good case for that horse. They, at the very
But the
least,
point
they
is,
should have been the same price.
I thought they would have been similar prices.
Yeah.
Just because I happen to like the
Those
winner
paid
is
$9.
irrelevant. That's
Those paid $9.
That's random. I just think I would have picked that horse if I thought that horse. I actually thought that horse would be favored. That's why I picked the 8, who ran fine, by the way, in third. But if somebody told me that horse was going to pay $9,
If you tell me the 6 and the 9, one's 4 to 5, and one, I'm taking the 9 too.
Went up to 6 to 5.
6 to 5.
Still. Race number 7. Race number 7 is another one. This one, I'm going to disagree with David on this one. I'm going to disagree strongly with David. We'll take a look at Grit and Glory, and this is, I think, 2 races back, finishing second to Kumar. I don't think that Grit and Glory is going to be 4 to 1, and Flowers for Lisa is going to be 5 to 2, and Runabout is going to be the same price as Grit and Glory. Maybe I'm wrong. I actually thought I was being kind of moto in here, taking a horse that was going to be the 2 to 1 favorite. Maybe it's because in my mind, even though I've got the horse second, I don't trust Flowers for Lisa at all anymore. I think Grit and Glory is just I mean, last time out, I understand the horse didn't run. There's no question about it. And maybe that was David's thinking making the line. It probably was. And this horse was brutal in there. It's odd that Striking Speed, who won that race where everybody, 2 horses were basically eased, this being one of them, actually ran well yesterday at a huge price in that race to run third in a good field. I know Linda's dropping down off a bad race, and that is probably bad. She claimed this horse for $14,000, though. And the race that ran against Kumar, I think it'll make the horse very tough.
This is kind of another one. To me, this is not a typical drop down because this horse was hanging around those
except the
ranks.
horse ran a terrible race last time, Anthony.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's the
fine.
problem.
Yeah.
And David actually, Ariana just texted me, and he's right about saying about Flashback and Barbie. We're forgetting the race before her last race that she flipped at the gate and had to be scratched to start.
That's right.
I will say one of the reasons it's taken her a while to get back to races, there just haven't been races for her. There haven't been races she could run in. Because I know that for a fact. They've wanted to run her before the last race and then even today, and there just weren't races for her to run in. As far as Grit and Glory, I don't trust the horse. But do you trust Flowers for Lisa? You don't have the horse 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't like Flowers for Lisa at all today. No.
Here's the question. How fast is the pace going to be? Is Charlie going to go with Beer's horse? Is Benji Hernandez going to go with High Command? Because if they don't...
Who's Beer? I took Beat Jack. I think Beat Jack is going to run a big race today.
Well, do you have a story on this horse? Or,
No.
this is Horatio DePaz is winning.
Paz.
His horses are running
The
well.
horse is starting to run again. He does have some... This horse has some speed. Listen.
He does.
He's a bug. Charlie's obviously a bug rider. He's going to need to use his head here a little bit because if a horse like Flowers for Lisa
Just
decides
don't insult
to go...
him like you insulted Manny and Mark Hennig
I'm
earlier.
just insulting everybody today.
You're really on the bit today.
If he's going to have to be a little aggressive, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have to blast off, but he does not want to get shuffled back from the rail draw.
No, I agree.
He has to be a little aggressive
he's supposed
see
to
how
be.
it unfolds. Yeah, see what...
What if Flowers for Lisa gets loose? Something that he hasn't done in 4 starts.
Do we think Flowers for Lisa can get loose?
Oh, 100%
You
he
think
can
she
get
can?
loose.
You think he can? Okay.
And Anthony, he's coming out of races that had major speed horses in them.
No,
and
I know.
Major
I know.
pace situations.
I know.
Can he get loose? Are you kidding me? Of course he can. And it's not like Louis Cardenas, who's riding terrific, is going to just like take him back. One of the reasons he's doing so well is he's aggressive.
I felt like his last 2 races, even though he ran a point higher than the start 2, 3 back, I feel like the last 2 were a little bit of a drop-off.
I don't know. Why was his last race that bad?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't bad. He got outrun for the lead. He never fell apart. I don't know. That race was falling apart at the end. I don't know. I don't think he ran terribly. Heavy Roller should have won that race. I had trouble with this race. I hear you with Beach Access, and maybe I'd had him higher if I had thought about Horatio DePaz and winning races. I thought Runabout wasn't impossible.
Yeah.
I know he didn't run well last time. His race 2 back is good enough. What about Hot Diggity? Here's an Orlando Nota horse that, you've got him. You've got him.
I scratched. I had originally had the horse 5th. I had Orpheus 4th.
I want to just make it clear. Yes, I regret one day saying that horse is my 5th pick. I regret that. When I look back on dumb things I've done, that's one of them.
I'm just showing you the thing.
I believe you. You don't have to show it to me.
Showing you the number.
I believe you.
Scratched in. I had a tough time with this race, but I don't like Flowers for Lisa. I don't necessarily try.
I think that you are making a mistake being so against Flowers for Lisa. This horse could wire the field here.
All right.
Easily. Last race,
I didn't
no.
like.
I think you're wrong. About
Yeah,
last
I
race.
didn't like the last two
I
races.
found the next race to be utterly impossible, and I'm not even moderately excited about the horse that I picked in here, but I took the horse at a price. And we'll show the race that Gem Emily and Foxtail and Indy Union come out of. Oh, this is not the one they come out of. This is actually at Belmont when they ran first and second. Last time Jen Emily got lost. Now maybe she's fallen out of form, but she was chasing outside, ended up wide. She wasn't that wide in the backstretch. The day you wanted to be inside. I'm hoping that Joelle gets Jen Emily more in the game in here, and she's stalking Foxtail, and maybe that can get her run better, because I think she ran well enough in this race, and she's going to be a price. I don't love her. I was against everybody in here. You know, Ujai on the inside, we'll talk about later. Foxtail's the worst.
Ujai.
Ujai.
Ujai. It's part of breathing in yoga.
You just think Foxtail's going to wire the field?
I do, yeah. You know, you might be. I left Jen Emily out of here. You might be right. Joelle might give her trip, just sitting off of.
I'm not sure she's good
Foxtail.
enough.
I don't know if she's good enough either. But I do wonder if Joelle. Right, her best races are when she's on or close to it. She
I
can't
would
get in
send her.
front.
If I were Joelle, I'd send her.
Yeah, that would be. Well, I'll tell you what. If you send her, you take.
See how I said that? I didn't say if Joelle was smart. See, I'm just pointing out to you. I didn't say. I said if I was.
Foxtail.
See, that's how you say it without insulting the people.
Foxtail
I'm
is
just trying to
taking.
help.
Foxtail is taking out. You're going to help me about insulting people. Foxtail.
I'm an expert insulting people. How can you not? How can you not take the
It's
advice
like me
from an expert?
That's like me giving diet advice.
I'm trying to help.
Foxtail is taken out of her game if she's not in front. Maybe Joelle could kill two birds with one stone, proverbially here. I don't know.
What about Daphne Moon? Let's look at Daphne Moon
I
winning
put her
at Oaklawn.
second. She's interesting.
David's got her favored, or 2-1. That was one of the things that he's probably right. I mean, I'm saying out of respect, that kind of bothered me because talk about horses that run by appointment only, and
Yeah, but she's run 6 times. 3 of them have been in stakes races.
she's
The 2 graded stakes tries were, forget about those, but
she might be the most talented horse in this race if you
Yeah.
were to boil down her talent.
and if you're right, and Jen Emily's putting a little pressure on, Foxtail.
Well, let me ask you a question. Isn't it possible that Ujai, and we'll go back to Ujai's race last time, how far out of its Kedrick going to be with this horse?
Probably not that far.
You know, the one thing I don't like about Ujai, I don't know what that lost footing at the start means. I never could make sense out of that comment. It's not something I've ever really taken into account. This horse didn't seem to be compromised by the break at all. No disrespect, just a different way of looking at races. This horse did ride the rail for a great deal of the race, and the rail was the place to be. But this horse ran well. I have a smart friend who likes this horse a lot today.
People are going to say 7. Some people are going to say 7 in a mile.
People are saying.
I'll tell you what. I don't think she wants any part of a mile. I don't think she wants to go. I don't think she wants to go a step past 7.
Okay.
I put her third because I'm not thrilled
Has she
with the
improved
rest.
for Mike Maker?
She could. And that's the, I'm willing to forgive the sloppy track at Delaware. He ran at a 7. She was gaining ground. You mentioned she was on the better part of the track. I'll give her one chance. Put her third. I'll give her one chance for Maker. But based on what I've seen, I don't think she wants any part of anything past 7/8.
I found this race to be absolutely inscrutable.
Listen,
I
Foxtail.
don't mind picking my horse because I can make a case for her to run her race, and she's a price, but I by no means love her.
I don't disagree. Yeah, listen, it was a tough race. And ultimately, I just went to the horse that, when you talk about a horse that's in form, I mean, she could be up there. They claimed her for, I made a mistake, I told you 40. They claimed her for $25,000 on July 30th.
You made a mistake?
Yeah, imagine that. They claimed her for
I feel so
$25,000
disillusioned.
on July 30th, and they have earned $158,000 with her in 4.5 months.
Wow, that is good.
That could be. I mean, they even had her in. I don't know if they realized that there was no such thing as off the turf. They had her in a Kentucky Downs at one point and scratched. I don't know if they were hoping it rained off or what they were doing. She was actually
running the highway.
I don't know if Merton LA knew what was going on down there. There was no dirt, but she was in, and I was like, "What's this all about?"
Anthony now just insulted Merckx on Cantromasi as well. First, you got like a false compliment the guy, then you insulted him.
Listen,
If you think he doesn't know that
she
Kentucky
is
Downs is never dirt,
she is my nominee for Claim of the Year. 25,000 turned it into 100 and almost 60,000 in 4.5 months. And if she wins today, what's the pot today? Pot's got to be good today. Pot's 84 today. 200,000 in 5 months.
Xantique was last year when Tom Worley claimed it.
Xantique was last year. Yes, Xantique would have been my nominee last year.
Well, wait a second. That's not true.
Oh,
The
maybe
claim,
tax.
the claim of the year is not tax. It's not Xantique. It's not this horse. The claim of the year is the XL stall horse that Peter Miller claimed.
Well, that was. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was this year. CZ Rocket. Yeah, great.
That's the claim of the year.
Yeah, you make a great point.
Thank you.
She's the best filly claim of the year. How about that?
Consulted. God, you got Franco, you got Hennig, you got, who else did you get?
Charlie Marquez
You got
a little
Charlie
bit.
Marquez. You're getting everybody. You got
Cantamacci.
Cantamacci.
Equal opportunity insulting today.
You're really on top of your game. Race number 9. You and I split up the Dave Donk horse, race number 9. But let's talk about Nikki Scissors to start.
Okay.
Once again, it's maybe 2 favorites today. If the 8 remains favored in the first, they're Rob Atras ex Jason Service horses.
Up to the lakes we go. Canandaigua, New York, up the inside. Nikki Scissors in the yellow cap.
Isn't this? I know it was a wet track. Isn't this horse supposed to win up it? I mean, come on. This race was like.
This was somehow. How about this horse isn't even second after this trip?
I mean, this race.
Gets outgained to the wire for the place money. Yeah, you know what? She had never run on a wet track. That track looks a lot more like it's muddy or sloppy than good.
Well, sealed tracks have a way of looking wetter than they are. But it does. I agree. It looks like there's water on that track. You're right. You make a good point. Not a great point, but a good one. You ever been to Finger Lakes?
No.
I think you and I should make a trip there, don't you think? You know, and
Off Monday? At Saratoga?
no. They run on Mondays or Saratoga?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? Think they're Monday to Thursday now?
Can we go with Jeremiah like in the back of
That
his
would be
like
unbelievable.
a cart or whatever?
He's got to have
drives around?
like 14 kids.
He
so
probably
he's gotta
drives
have
a
big-
tractor or something down
He
the
probably
thruway
has
when
the
he goes
family
there.
truckster, like from National Lampoon's
A lot of
Vacation.
kids. I can't bet this horse. This horse can win.
No.
You know, I will give you credit here. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even really notice Left Leaning Lucy because I thought 16 won't get in. I didn't think about it. I saw you pick the horse and I went, oops, I got to get that horse in my pick somewhere because she's the horse to beat.
Yeah, she gets Jorge Vargas. Manny
think she should be
Franco's
favored.
I do too.
But I'm going to say something to you about her last race.
Manny Franco stays with the 11, Nikki Scissors.
Yeah. I'm going to say something about her last race. If you were to look at the track that day, speed seemed to be a real advantage. And she was forward, and she still only beat Mia Be a Star by a length, who was wide. She was 5 wide in there. I think Mia Be a Star actually may have run a better race than her. I know they're 4-1 and 7-2 here. I'm not sure that it's going to be that close. I'm going to give Mia Be a Star a chance to beat her. They feel like the 2.
Okay.
Dave Donkathon in the last. Well, the other thing is, who do you trust here? I can't, listen, Nikki Scissors may win. I don't trust that horse at all. What do you do with Dare to Try? Voided claim, virtually ease, comes back for 16. How do you take this horse?
Hard pass.
Well,
Voided
claim.
claim.
Gonna be shocked when the horse wins?
No, but I don't. Not with my money. No, sir. Got to have a little La Negrita.
No, I don't have any La Negrita.
Why not?
She stinks. Sorry. She never wins. Joelle's last ride, you think he'll go out a winner? If Joelle goes out a winner with La Negrita, they should give him the Eclipse Award if he gets her home. Last ride here. Be an
I
incredible
think La
moment,
Negrita
wouldn't it?
can win today.
That would maybe be Joel's greatest achievement of 2020, where he's had a tremendous year, getting La Negrita to win with her 87 seconds.
That would be something.
Well, we got Dahl home this week.
No, that was Kendrick, wasn't it?
I'm saying Dahl won a
yeah.
race. In other words, I'm not saying it was Joel. I'm saying Dahl won a race.
That was one of my
No, you were right.
bigger idiotic moves
Yes,
of the week.
that was,
not
and
hitting
you
that
also
pick
had a very
5.
good opinion on her. I mean, I think we both picked her the same. I think we had her third, but you made a valid case for her that she could sit the trip exactly the trip she got and just win the race. And that was, well, the thing about her was she was 8-1 morning line, and that's what you said. And I even thought, how can she be 8-1? And she ended up 13-1.
Yeah.
She got lost. And it's funny because another smart friend of mine said to me the next day, how did the horse who won the 8th race go off at 13-1 yesterday? And he bet the horse.
She wasn't as big in the multis.
He had a late double.
Well, the pick, I should say the pick 4, pick 5. She played to the 8-1 a little bit more.
Cloudy.
Not here. Sunny here.
You doing the
Beautiful day.
changes, the first changes here in the studio?
I did them already.
What are you doing the second set? I'm sorry.
Right here. You think I'm getting upstairs in 7 minutes?
Not without a crane.
Plus the elevator, plus coming down today, the elevator didn't open right away.
Plus, there may be a few people waiting for you outside the studio after your performance today. Listen, it's not my fault.
You think Hennig's waiting? I don't think Hennig's.
Mark? No, he'll get you later.
He's taking a picture of something right now.
Right.
The beautiful day.
He's
here in
around. I
Aqueduct.
saw him yesterday, actually. He's around. It's nice to see Mark. Anyhow, you need to head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, sign up for Naira Bets. Use the promo code MATCH200. Become a member of Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Keep the money in the game. Play through Naira Bets. 10, if you bet 100 or more through the app on Fairgrounds today, you will get a $10 bonus through Naira Bets. Anthony, it was a pleasure. Good luck calling the races today.
Thank you, Bobby.
Full confidence you will do a sensational job as always. Maggie and I will be joining you between races. He'll be joining you during the race. The good news for you is the fog is lifted. I'm going to leave. He's going to stick around and give you a reprise. I know you
called
have.
one in the fog. Riendo.
You've done a lot of things in a fog. On that note,
Lost in the fog.
did I
He
bet
was- he
Riendo
was
that
good.
day? Yes. No.
Yeah? I don't remember. It was the last race on a Sunday.
I don't remember. Yeah. No, I don't know. I bet him at Saratoga.
We hit him at Saratoga.
Yeah,
Good.
we won.
Yeah.
Kendrick wrote him, I think. Yeah. Anyhow, have a great day. He'll be back with the reprise of Scratch and Changes. I'll be back after that with Maggie.